Welcome back, Algebra 2. We're in Lesson 5. We're going to talk about advanced factoring. When two or more quantities are multiplied to form a product, we say that each of the quantities is a factor of the product. So, since multiplying these three sets of expressions equals this, these three things are factors. These are the three factors of this expression here. This is the reason we use the word factoring to describe the procedure of writing a sum as the product of the quantities that can be multiplied to form that sum. So this is the product of these quantities that have been multiplied to form this sum. The product is the sum. So far, our factoring has been restricted to trinomials who have a 1 as the lead coefficient. Those are so easy because we know x times x is x squared, or x times x times x is x cubed. We don't have to think about it. But now we're going to move into some factoring of trinomials where there is a lead coefficient with the first term. So let's look here. I have 3x plus 2 times 2x minus 3. And to solve this a little bit easier, I'm going to stack it, right? So I'm going to stack this here, 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 3, and let's go for it. Negative 3 times positive 2 is a negative 6. Negative 3 times a 3x is a negative 9x. Positive 2 times 2x times 2 is going to be a positive 4x, and 2x times 3x is going to be a 6x squared. So that gives us a negative 6, a negative 5x, and a 6x squared. So now we know what this equals. This equals 6x squared minus 5x minus 6. Could we have done this ourselves without first seeing the answer? But now that we have, we can work it backwards in our head. We can see what we have to do. We still have the same issue here with a negative 3 and a positive 2 equaling this third term. So that still remains true. But now we have to take into account the multiplication of the coefficients times this number here, right? So we have to account for these. So we have to find what this and this multiplies to reach this, and then we have to take into account this multiplied by this number and this multiplied by this times this and this times this in order to get this middle number. So let's take a look at one of those. Let's dive right into here. Let's look at 105.1. Let me clear the page and see if we can walk through this and figure it out. So we have this number to factor, 6x squared, or this expression, I should say. 6x squared plus x minus 2. So we are going to set up our binomial parenthesis. First, we are going to multiply the 6 by negative 2. So negative 2 times 6, that's negative 12. Now we search for two factors of negative 12 whose sum is positive 1, because we have a positive 1 right here. So this has to equal a positive 1. All right, so it's going to be the ends times each other, and then equal to the middle. So we find the factors here that equal this. So now we have, let's see, negative 4, positive 3, positive 4, negative 3. That equals negative 1. Oh, that equals positive 1. That must be the one that works. So now we are going to we're going to factor these out. Actually, we don't do this just yet. Now we're going to look at this. We're going to say 6x squared. We're going to set this up with these as x terms. So plus 4x minus 3x minus 2. All right, so now this is the same value as this, but now we know the next step, which is to factor this, right? We're going to factor out this one and this one. So we're going to say 2x, and that's going to be 3x plus 2. All right, so 2x times 3x plus 2. And now this is a -1, right? And that is going to be (3x plus 2). So what happened was we had that minus 3x plus 2. So I just transferred that to -3x minus 2. Transferred that to a -1 here, right? So now we can take these out and say 2x minus 1. We factor these together. We did some group factoring is what we did. Do you see how that kind of works? Let's try another one. Let's see if we could do that again. Now you could always try to figure it out the hard way, but this is going to be the easiest way to do that. 105.2, and we have 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. So we multiply the extremes, we get -30, and it has to equal -7. The factors of -30 have to equal -7. So let's see, we have 2 times -15. That's -13. That doesn't work. We have -3 times +10. That's going to be a +7. Uh-oh, I think that might work if I swap it. So let's do +3 and a -10. Yeah, that's the one we want right here. Okay, so we are going to bring this out and say 2x squared plus 3x minus 10x minus 15. All right, so now we have separated it. So now I have 2x squared plus 3x plus -10x minus 15. All right, so I can bring out the -1. So I've got an x here, so I can take out x, and then I have 2x plus 3, and then I could pull out the -1 and have -1 times, I could pull out more than that. I can pull out -5, right? So that would be 2x plus 3, exactly. So now I could say x minus 5 times, because that's x minus 5, 2x plus 3. And that is how I have factored this. All right, are you getting the hang of it? Is it starting to make sense? So let's do one more. See if we can have that make just a little bit more sense to us. Let's do 105.3. So we start with this trinomial, minus 6, and this is equals -6x squared. All right, so we're going to add this to both sides. So we get 6x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Right? And so now we are going to take the product of the lead coefficient and the constant term. So it's 6 and negative 6. That's going to be a negative 36. And it has to equal the negative 5. Right? So the only way that I know to make 36 is positive 6, negative 6, which is 0. So that's not it. Then we have positive 12, negative 3, which equals positive 9. That's not it. Then we have, let's see, negative 2, positive 18, which equals a positive 16. That's not it. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we have negative 9 and positive 4, which gives us a negative 5. So that's it. This is the one we want. So we have 6x squared minus 9x plus 4x minus 6 equals 0. All right. So yeah, let me look at these. What else can I can get 3x out of this. So 3x divided by, or 6x squared divided by 3x is going to be 2x, right? And then 9x divided by 3x is going to be a negative 3. Plus, and we have 4x minus 6, so it's already positive, so I don't have to do anything to that. So I can pull out a 2. So let's pull out 2. So that leaves a 2x and a negative 3 equals 0. So that means 3x plus 2 times 2x minus 3 equals 0. So one of these is equal to 0. All right. Oops, I skipped ahead too far. Let me find my next page. My page is stuck together. Aha, there we go. So now we do the same thing we would do if we were completing the square and we were, factoring that out. So we would set this one equal to 0, and we would set this one equal to 0 because one of these is equal to 0. We don't know which one it is. So we add 2 to, or we subtract 2 from both sides. 3x is equal to negative 2. X is equal to negative 2/3. And then 2x is equal to positive 3. X is equal to 3/2. And that would be the two solutions for x. And that's all we have for lesson 105. I will see you in lesson 106.